back to my channel, Country Conversations with DVD. Today I'm going to be reviewing Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 6B, Episode 18, Melody versus Marsau. I'm so tickled because, to me, this was a good episode, but I've been seeing some of my favorite vloggers saying that they are tired of the same old, same old. Now, yeah, they are talking about the Black Business Expo a lot. However, I think because it was so much money that is unaccounted for in this episode, I think that it's a good way to, keep, something going, at least for Marsau and Cameron to have stuff to do. I'm sorry, more recent the cheese puff, the least interesting person on the show. Yeah. Anyway, so the baby reveal is underway. The baby is over there getting fed, right? Okay, they decide to give a little prayer for you. Together. Say a little prayer, with the baby. He being a baby. And Tisha arrives, she arrives late. And everybody's surprised that she's there because she's late. And Tiffany was like, in her confessional. But Tiffany is not the type of person to pull punches now, is she? Because she's going to let her know. She says, well, she didn't RSVP, so I didn't think she was coming. Nobody seems to be excited to see Tisha, especially Storm. Tisha doesn't understand why everybody's treating her so cold. Tisha notices this weird energy in the room. She's like, in her confessional, she was like, what's going on? I mean, I know I've talked these things out, but these people look quiet. Nell said, we've been talking. And she was like, what y'all been talking about? And leave it up. When I tell you, I did not know that Kimmy had this much mess in her system. She gets started. Well, we've been talking about the Black Expo. And she says, oh, not this again. I thought we hashed this out already. Nell says, well, I mean, we did talk about how you gave me a personal invite. And then she said, well, after that, after so many people RSVP'd and we were so busy, we decided to just put it out on social media. So you think you're going to give me a personal invite and then, make me look at social media? I didn't think I would have to do that. I mean, and then Tisha was like, well, she gets in her confession. She's like, I'm tired of these wishy-washy attitudes towards me. So they go to meet the baby. Ooh, right here. Tiffany is jealous because she's not in the action. But she was like saying to herself, well, I thought we had resolved things about the Black Business Expo. But nah, she don't really care about them being resolving things in the Black Business Expo, does she? She wants to get in the mess. That's what Tiffany does. Tiffany is all about the mess. Okay, so and then it was like, Tiffany throws shade, so she does meet with Tisha, and she says, I'm trying to say these people's names right, because I know I get in Ashley Miller's comments, and I'm like, Ashley, no, that's not the name. Now that I'm doing this, I realize how easy it is to mix up their name, especially with so many people names on this show beginning with the letter M. So shout out to Ashley. I apologize, girl. So then they get to start. She said, well, I'm surprised you're here, since how you didn't respond to the RSVP. And she was like, I forgot. And Kimmy says, well, we also talked about the $100. And she's like, well, I don't want to talk about that anymore. And then Nell says, well, I do. Why are you being so hush-hush over there, Stormy? Stormy, can we talk about the $100? She says, she gets her confession. She's like, I'm tired of this. We're going over the same thing over and over again. Things that I thought I had resolved. Tisha wants to get up and leave. Stormy calls her back. Stormy says, we need to talk these things out and get everything off our chest. So the women go in on Marsau and his helps. And I'm like, Marsau is telling us one thing and he's doing another. Okay, on one end, he's saying to us that, see, I lost some of my feathers on this earring. That's neither here nor there. But I love these earrings, though, that I got these at the tribe. Along with some sage. Down to the silver store down there in Philadelphia. Yeah. I go to get my natural things down there at the tribal store because they have things that resonate with me through nature. Their culture was all the way stolen from them. Back to the review. So Nell reminds Tisha that Marsau said, no money was paid. And Tisha's like, well, the money went back into the business. So many people were there. Again, is this true though? And then Kim was like, well, we're not trying to attack you. But they were. Baby, when I tell you they had Tisha shook. And she said, well, we're not trying to jump down your throat. It's just that it's fair to know where the funds are going to. Tisha's like, no, it's not. It's not fair to know where the funds are going to because me and Marsau, we spend more money than anybody. We put more money into this. Stormy reminded Tisha that they were good, but her issue is with the bitch. She said, Marsau, he always over there. He act like a woman. He always a woman business. And Nell gets a confession and says, well, she had called my husband a woman, I'd be throwing a lot of shade at Stormy. No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. You want to know why? Because Tisha is not only tired of these women, she is tired of Marsau's ass as well. She has to be. Because she's around. Even Kimmy. Now, the asshole Gene run in the family. Right? From all the ones that they have shown on the show. And also this fellow, Michael, I think that he is a brother who was left by his wife as well. So all of these brothers have been left by their wives. Except Marsau. I peeped that. Anyway. And so she was like, yeah, more like a woman. It always a woman business. So, some of our issues not with him. Then Mel jumps in. And Mel's like, yeah, it's not, my issue is not really with you, Tisha. It's with this man over here saying that I only own a t-shirt business when he knows doggone well that I have lucrative business. And I'm surprised she didn't say that y'all been a part of. And then Tisha was like, well, I'm just going to stay out of this. I don't want to talk about the Black Expo no more. We're supposed to be giving positive energy to little baby Ace. This is a sipping seat to see the baby. And we're still talking about the Black Expo. Just, for as I'm concerned, it's just dismissed and let it go. I don't want to talk about the Black Expo no more. Even though it's only fair, as your sister-in-law told you as well, that everybody gets an accounting of where their money was spent. It seems like a front job type business, Tisha. And Kim is like, well, we need to get to the round table to do constructive criticism. And Tisha gets in confession, I'm not all the way mad at Kim's idea, but I'm all for constructive criticism. And then she goes and says that she was surprised that Kiki was invited due to her issues with Tiffany. And then she throws shade at Kiki, who is not even there, and her cousin, and said, "Oh, well, it doesn't matter. I'm not surprised. Kiki is always a no call, no show anyway." The hell? Well, I mean, now I must admit that Kiki does seem to throw a lot of uh you know excuses their way as far as coming to the events. But I can say, the lady said she's sick. I mean, when you have an addiction, right? You're gonna experience those highs and lows. And sometimes during your lows, you just want to be left alone. And I understand Kiki in that, but you're on the show. On the show, girl. It's time to get in the mix with the ladies. Okay. Then the next thing happens, and it's between Cheese Puff and Kimmy. That's what I call Marsau. I mean Maurice. See? Ashley Miller, shout out to you. I did it again. So that's what they call that's what I call Maurice. And Maurice is they looking around the building, and again, another Scott. Woo! If I see one more Scott. But like I said, I think that's the one who was married to Kimmy's best friend. And yet and still, it's only Kimmy and Tisha that's still remaining. I guess the strongest are surviving. Because of my understanding, all these men in their misogynistic ass old ways are losing wives left and right. And he's the project manager, and he said, "I'll be through in 3 days. I'll be through in 3 days." And Kim is looking around, and we see all this stuff under. All it takes is 3 days. And then Kim is like, she's questioning, whether they should keep letting family do their business. Right. Look at him. Ain't Uncle Mike. Isn't that his name, Uncle Mike? Isn't it Uncle Mike that's over there building Scott Manor? Sometimes you have to go back to your memory bank and rewind and bring up the things that's already missing, and you didn't learn your lesson about working with Scots. So Kimmy goes up and says, "Well, you know what? This money thing is growing legs." So I presented to the group at the baby reveal that we do a town halls with. And Cheese Puff said, "Well, that's a good idea." And then he was like, "Well, I know what's going on." And she was like, "Well, we talked about the Black Expo." And he was like, "Oh, so nobody talked about the baby reveal." And she was like, "Yeah, because we are wondering where the money went." Because Nell Fletcher said, here we go. Nell Fletcher said some vendors paid and some didn't. And he said, "Oh, shocked. Why are you shocked, Cheese Puff? We already discussed that when y'all went bike riding. That some vendors paid and some didn't. Are you still shocked?" "Well, I did give him $100 in cash," he said. Well, maybe it should be an accounting of the money. Then she says, "Well, he's having a tendency of popping off with the women. He's popped off with Stormy. He's popped off with Mel. He's popped off with, Nell. I mean, what's going on with your brother?" And then he says, "Well, my brother's a misogynistic asshole. Sarcastic asshole." That was the word. And then and Kimmy says, "Yes, but at the same time, he has no business popping off with these women." And he was like, "Well, he's equal opportunity popper offer." I just made that up, but that's true. That's what he said. That's what he said in essence. And he doesn't discriminate on who he pops off of. Well, he should. With his hips and his shapewear and his size A cup tatas. All right. Like Stormy said, might have to put you in a wig, buddy. um, So in this instance, Kimmy basically calls him a bill too. She was like, because he has to stop popping off at women in the group. And then he was like, well, maybe y'all do need to meet. So, and then he was like, it's nothing wrong with constructive criticism. Yeah, here we go. And the next thing, Mel and Nell meet at the daycare. It was time for Mel to display her business. I feel like that's what she was doing to let folks know, look, I'm not living off sexy Chris. And that's what I call Chris. Yeah. Except when he in that confessional with his hair in the middle and part on the side. When he in his regular clothes. Yes. So they at the daycare, and then she was like, well, Miss Nell, I was just wanting to see how I forgot to do Mel's voice. Miss Nell, I just wanted to see how you were doing, seeing as how you and Tisha are not getting along right now. You know, y'all are bumping heads and whatnot. And then they'll say, well, yeah, we are bumping heads, but you know, I don't take too well to people who invite me stuff and then rescind and then act like they didn't invite me. Now, I'm with you on that 110%. And she say, they'll say, well, it seems like to me that Marsau just runs over her. And when we were at that dinner, I asked her, do you really own any part of the business? Since, you know, he thinks that all I do is spend Flex's money. And she said, well, I owe 85% of the business. And then she said, well, it don't look like it to me. And then Mel goes on to explain how companies will do. She said, well, it was nothing that Martel, because he had, nobody's Miss Martel. Whoa, I didn't miss so Marty. So Mel explains how in contracting, you know, you can get a loan or start your business and have the women be basically your double minority. And then, you know, basically she was saying that, again, Tisha is the figurehead and she is 85% owner and 9 owner. And then Nell said, and me as well. I'm with you on that. We both own 50-50 of these businesses. This is my business that I started, but me and Fletch still 50-50. Over there in his business and over here in mine. And then Mel was like, yeah, because, you know, when me and my ex were together, you know, we basically ran the business together. And then Mel said, well, Miss Nell, I was wondering, do you think that you and Tisha could ever be on a good page? And Nell was like, well, I'm not sure about that because, you know, all I can see is us being cordial. And then she said, well, I think that me and Tisha would do much better if Marsau didn't have his ass in our business with his manipulative self. And she says, well, and they go back and run a montage. And I remember all these things from when I first started watching the show. I'm telling you, day one, when Mel would come over there, he always had an issue because Mel always had a plan. And I really hate that relationship went awry because Mel really understands that what the audience has understood since this show has been on, that she is the nucleus of the show and that Marsau is tiny bit afraid of her in that way because he don't want Tisha to wake up. He wants her to stay in that Stepford wife mindset. And Tisha, like I said, she's in the middle right now. She's dancing with the devil and she's dancing with the angel. And she's trying to figure out exactly what road should she take. Mind my words. So Kiki and her husband get together. And he's in there cooking up a storm. Get it, Mr. Kiki. Oh, he cooking up a storm. Ooh, he said he cooking mac and cheese. Get on down, Mr. Kiki. And then Kiki said, well, I've been so sick. I'm just trying to figure out what's wrong with me. All of these things going on with me, and I just can't figure out what it is. And Mr. Kiki say it's the medicine. Mr. Kiki don't want her on her methadone. Mr. Kiki, sometimes, especially an opioid addiction, you do need other drugs to make you even kill. That's what it's called. Don't worry, she's gonna be fine. He wants her off of the methadone. Now, do you have a natural alternative, Mr. Kiki? Because I didn't hear you mention anything during this whole conversation that could balance her out without her using the methadone. She's gonna have to have something. And she said, well, she gets in her confession. I just know that these ladies think that I'm just over here just relapsing and I'm flaking out on everything. And so that, and especially with this Crime Stopper thing going on, I just know they think I'm relapsing. And I'm like, yeah. How you feeling right now? Pop up on them so they can stop talking about you behind your back and assuming that you're doing the good drugs. Well, the meaning that the coffee shop comes. This is where things get interesting, don't it? And she says, well, Mel, y'all ready? Well, Marsau, how are you? You know, I'm hot, but I decided that I was going to listen to my etiquette coach and take things down a different road. Well, Mel, that's a good idea. I mean, he started with the word salad. The event was very successful. And I think that, you being and not being able to speak at the event, I don't think it was a good thing. I think you really missed out, man. Now, knowing doggone well he kissing her butt at this moment because he is still perturbed with her because she didn't speak at the event. She's like, well, are you questioning my business practice? And he's like, well, I just, with the word salad, here you go. Jumbled up words, he don't even know what it means. Well, I just don't respect it. I don't respect products. I don't respect products. What? Marcel, I know you're not sitting up here saying you don't respect e-commerce when that's a business that you're trying to break into. I sell a lot of t-shirts. Well, I just don't have a high opinion of it. But you want to be successful in it. And in the confessional, she says, now he knows doggone well that he don't want Tisha around me because he knows that she will draw off my strength. And baby, you hit the nail on the head with that. Do you know how many single friends that I have because I've never been, married friends that I have because I've never been married, whose husbands just don't want them around me? My friend that I was friends with from high school and through college, husband is now preaching. And he can't have her around the good Donna who does not go to church and does not practice. I'm going to say something. I'm going to say it right. Say it real nice. Practice Christianity. I'm going to be nice about it. and she said, Marsau said in a sarcastic tone, you want my children to grow up in a single parent home, don't you? And Mel's like, no, but you are scared that she's going to draw my energy and leave your gaslight manipulative ass. And it goes off on there. But in the next episode, I did take a note there because it's going to come back. I believe it's going to, well, you know how Love and Marriage Huntsville does. I'm not going to promise you that it's going to come back. But I do notice that he says in the next episode, it seems like you just throwing shit against the wall and seeing if it'll stick. Now, wait a minute. Now, I follow Miss Mel down to the Instagram. And those t-shirts that you dissing and those lemon drops that you put across your face to keep your skin smooth, those things are quite affordable for the common woman. Whereas her counterpart or her former counterpart. That was with her husband, allegedly, ex. We hadn't seen her stuff sell like that. So she must be doing something right, brother. So I'm telling you that she shit. The stuff is too expensive for the common man if she's trying to reach us. I got on mail website. Hoodies, $40. Caps, $25. Reasonable. Come on, Mel. He can question your business acumen if he wants to. Okay? Just know that you have people out here that is supporting you. With that being said, thank you for joining me with Country Conversations with D with D. I'm going to chunk them up as I do. Deuces. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Come on, guys. Get those likes up.